What do you get when you combine two worlds with cats and their own groups of unique characters? You get Persona 5 Royal's collaboration with smartphone game Another Eden, The Cat Beyond Time and Space, an enjoyable coming together of JRPGs that take advantage of each other's strengths to create this enjoyable JRPG crossover. It takes the style from Persona 5 with things like its all-out and sneak attacks to create a familiar feel for the Persona player, with the backdrop for this alternative world event being Another Eden's smooth quest system and new environments, which along with having skill trees and turn-based JRPG battles to keep the game appealing to RPG fans, has everything broken up nicely into bite-sized playable moments, great for whether you have a short or long time to play. Since a lot of Persona 5 smartphone games and events don't usually make it to the West, this international release of Another Eden's one has served as a great way to have something Persona 5 related in English on my phone, while also introducing me to an interesting new story world. So if you're a Persona 5 fan looking for a new smartphone game to try, this crossover event is a great way to enjoy two story-driven JRPG series coming together on the go. Before I get started, it is important to mention that this is actually my first sponsored video. The Persona 5 Royal Cross Another Eden collaboration will be out once this video is up, so feel free to use my link that is at the top of the description if you do decide to try the game. While this video is sponsored in order to promote the collaboration, I do want to stress that these are still my thoughts and my opinions in this video, so please keep that in mind while watching and enjoy the rest of the video. The crossover episode Bound Wills and the Hollow Puppeteer features Joker and Morgana as playable characters and will be free to play in the world of Another Eden, a game made by some staff that have worked on Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, and Xenogears such as scenario writer Masato Kato and composer Yasunori Mitsuda, who also did the wonderful soundtrack for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The episode begins when the Phantom Thieves are exploring Momentous when Joker hears a voice, and as they continue into Momentous, they eventually run into a strange portal that seems to be the source of this voice. The voice is calling for help, so unable to leave someone in need, they decide to dive in, which leads them to Another Eden's world, where they meet protagonist Aldo and friends, and ultimately join together as an unlikely group to find the mystery of this strange voice. The journey will take them questing through Another Eden's world and to a palace-like place as you travel through it. And while I only spent 2 hours with the event, there is plenty of story in it that highlights the personalities of both groups, while still giving plenty of breakpoints to save or close the app if you only have a few minutes in the day to play. I enjoyed the writing of this event thanks to some of its humor, especially when it was using common Persona 5 jokes like Morgana insisting that he's not a cat. So while it takes a little bit of questing to get into the dungeon crawling portion, if you enjoy the personalities of both groups, it's pretty fun to go through, with the dynamic of both groups together being fun to watch thanks to the diverse group of characters. As I mentioned about the writing, the thing that made me instantly like this crossover was how faithful it is to the style and script of Persona 5. From the beginning of the event's story, characters are using what they usually say at the end of battle when they defeat shadows, and the game uses correct Persona 5 terminology often when the two groups are explaining their worlds to each other that makes it feel like care was put into having these characters be themselves in this unfamiliar world. This care is put into other aspects as well, with moves from Persona 5 being given to the playable characters Joker and Morgana, along with little touches like if you strike an enemy from behind, it'll rip their mask off like a chance attack from Persona 5, before moving into Another Eden's turn-based battle system. And I really liked these throwbacks as a fan of Persona, playing mostly for that content, as it felt more like playing Persona rather than something I didn't know. In saying that, I did however play a little bit of Another Eden to see what it was like before I started playing the Persona portion, and the bits I tried made me think that Another Eden fans will also have something to get out of this event other than just in-game currency. A lot of the event scenes have characters from both groups shine, with characters I just met in my own playthrough like Rika having plenty of fun moments to shine as well. So while the game does a good job at making it familiar for newcomers, it's good that it balances this with some lighthearted moments for Another Eden fans as well. So if you're a fan of either, this alternative world at minimum has some fun moments for both fans, and will likely have me continue in the event as I want to see what else they'll do with the Persona theme, and then after that I'd like to keep going in the regular game as well, as this event is making me like both sets of characters even more. While the Persona 5 Royal content is an event in the game, it's also permanent extra content, as in a very consumer-friendly move, the event content is available forever and also comes out worldwide at the same time as Japan, meaning no one has to feel like they're missing out since you can jump in and play whenever and wherever it's convenient for you. This matches the game's own kind of policy of no energy timers, no social features, or limited time events. That means you can always enjoy the story-driven RPG at any time without forcing yourself to use all of your currency or energy before it runs out like in other smartphone games. There is some draw to playing in the launch period, considering daily you do get 50 Chronos points, the game's premium currency, during the event instead of the usual 20, and you can do a one-time only summon with the Fateful Encounters campaign for 500 Chronos instead of what is usually 1,000, and that will run from December 11th until Christmas Day. Being new to the game, I thought this would mean the free Chronos I had been earning in-game could be used here, but it is worth noting that this draw is for paid Chronos, which you can see the word for next to the cost button. There are plenty of bundles where you can use the free Chronos you're earning that aren't as limited, just make sure you look for that paid writing next to the cost if you decide to do either option. But it's only the login bonus and the summoning that are tied behind any kind of time limit, and the lack of time limit is good for the story content since it could take a little time to unlock all of the Persona 5 Royal content. In order to access the full event, you have to have completed Chapter 13 of the main story. However, you can access the prologue easily just by completing the first 2 chapters, which took me under an hour to do, so assuming the other chapters are a similar length, you could be looking at a similar time put in every couple of chapters before actually experiencing the event. As I said though, there's no limit for how long you can do this for, which is great if you're just putting in a little time daily, as this is a smartphone game. And considering I've played the prologue and 1.5 chapters of the mission and still have more to do, the payoff is likely worth it, especially for fans of both games. I did also briefly want to talk about Another Eden as a standalone game, as even before the Persona content was put into the game, I found its first couple of chapters enjoyable and think it could be a good one to have on the go even after I've finished the Persona content. Its chapters show off its interesting world in a quick bite-sized way, with the way it handled the accidental time travel at the start of the story reminding me a little bit of Final Fantasy X in a good way, and the characters met along the way seem to all be quite different and have their own quirks, and I like to keep getting to know them in their side missions, which most characters seem to have. It is worth noting for the Persona content that Morgana and Joka don't seem to have these side quests since the current event is kind of their one, but you do get to keep them after the event at the very least so you can keep using them while going through the main game. So with that in mind, once I finish this event, I am looking forward to continuing to play this game with them, especially since this is one of the few JRPGs that actually works on my older iPhone. And with one like this with so much story for both its Persona portion and the rest, it's one I'll be glad to have ready in my pocket for whenever I feel like jumping in. The Another Eden Cross Persona 5 Royal event shows 2 unlikely worlds together, but shows off the best of them in smartphone form. It uses Persona elements like its UI and style to create a familiar world for the Persona player. And with Another Eden already being a story-driven RPG, the time it takes having the groups get to know each other in the Persona 5-esque mission should be a lot of fun and content for both fans to enjoy whenever they like. Since we haven't got an official Persona 5 smartphone game in the West yet, the way this collaboration ties in that Persona feel in a permanently available RPG way is truly the next best thing. And I'm glad this collaboration could get me to finally try another story-filled experience that I can fit in my pocket while getting me to play with a familiar yet new world. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you'll try Another Eden or this collaboration, and if you already have, what did you think of it? You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, and you can find me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at JRPG Jungle. Links to where you can play the game will be in the description below, and until next time, thank you, bye!